Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. With us today is an athlete who's been breaking one record after another, from climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Kenya, the Great Wall of China, and now she's added the world's highest mountain. Manal is the first Egyptian woman to climb the highest peak in the world. Welcome to the show, Manal. Rostom.
Oh my God! Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. We've been wanting to do this for quite some time, so I finally got myself here. So I'm very happy to be chatting with you guys. Yeah.
You know, I attend a lot of sporting events.
You've also learned how to work your washing machine, which is very inspiring.
Thank you.
You're inspiring, Manal.
No, but really, it's a big deal for a girl, you know?
Right?
Yes.
Especially when you stay with your family.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. When you're like spoiled and stuff, they do everything for us.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah,
I need to grow up with you guys.
So I see you all like, I was like, Manal, Rostom, I want to say hi, but then you're always surrounded by a swarm of like people who are impressed by you, motivated by you, just want tips and tricks on life. So tell us, what pushes you in the morning?
Look, I mean, like, you just set goals for yourself, and you don't want to let yourself down first and foremost. And then with a big following, or like when you have this platform and you know that everyone is watching, you kind of don't want to let anybody down. But really, you know, especially that I have a big following of little kids, and that's where it really, really matters and makes a difference. Like, I always say that on Everest, it was the messages from the little kids that really made a difference, you know? Like a 16-year-old girl or like a 12-year-old boy. It's like, please, we're like, we can't wait to see you on top. And I'm like, oh my God, like, you know, you shouldn't be watching. Like, wait until I actually do it or not. So, yeah, so I think you just feel accountable to yourself and to all these people. And that's the whole point of having a platform, right? I mean, you just got to like live up to it.
But that's scary, but you wanted to climb Everest.
Yeah.
When did that dream start? Like, when was the moment? Because, like, can we actually imagine physically thinking it's possible for us to do it? So when did it start for you?
So I'm a desert girl. I grew up in Kuwait. I was born and raised in Kuwait. Like, you know, it's not a mountaineering, you know, environment whatsoever. And then I moved to Dubai about 12 years ago. And in 2007, while I was still living in Kuwait, I remember my dad was watching a very famous, like, Egyptian show one night, and I was in my room, and he's like, come out, there's this really cool guy talking, and it was Omar Samra, and he was like the first Egyptian guy to summit Mount Everest, and they were interviewing him, and he was so humble, and he was so nice, and he was very young, and I was like, oh my God, I want to do that one day. And then my dad looks at me and says, yeah, but you're not a guy to do that.
Oh no.
And I was like, okay, but where does it say that you need to be you know, a guy to go mountain climbing? And it took me 5 years to kind of convert my dad's mentality. So from 2007 to 2012, I was just like showing him documentaries and like, see, like there are girls who climb, but unfortunately these sports can be male dominated, or they can be perceived as male dominated, especially from an Arab girl who comes from a conservative family. Like, who's going to send their daughter off to climb for 8 or 7 days, let alone 2 months when I did Everest, right? But then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. 2012, I said I'm going to Kilimanjaro. I really wanted to. And then it kind of like helped me shift their mindset from there. Yeah.
I don't understand. Wow. I mean, like, for normal people, right? People who are not as motivated, not as, you know, like have a point to prove. Like, I'll see something, I'll be like, oh, I wish I could do that, or I wish I could change people's perspective on that. But that'll be a thought. I'll never act on it. But you actually went ahead and acted on it. So what was that push to go like, okay, I'm going to climb the mountains?
Okay, so it's kind of funny, but you know this quote, like, the mountains are calling. They kind of do, you know, like the mountains really do call you sometimes, especially Everest. Actually, I wore this jacket and I wanted to tell you live, but I found this jacket in 2019, and it had like weird coordinates. And I was like, I'm going to look these coordinates up and let's see if they're actually Everest. And it was Everest. So it just says, feel alive, climb to the top. And I was like, okay, I'm buying this jacket. I don't care how much it costs, but I just really feel like sometimes the universe just keeps giving you signs, you know? And I intentionally wore this jacket today to share this little story. It might be trivial to some, but I mean, I look for these signs in life in general. And then it started to become like, oh, Manal wants to climb Everest. And then it like would go viral across Egypt. And then people would mistake me for having done Everest because I did base camp in 2016 and 2019. And I said, you guys, I haven't done Everest yet. Like, I was so like adamant to say, Everest is Everest, and then base camp is base camp. You know, don't confuse the two. It's kind of offensive, actually. And then you just like keep working on yourself. And if your dream, if you can't get it out of your head, that means that you need to go out there and do it. Really. But really, just like, you know, as a girl, when you see like a bag or, you know, a pair of shoes that you like, and then you go home and, you know, you say sometimes, oh, no, it's too expensive. But then when you go home and think about it, and then you know, it's like it's been a week and you can't stop thinking about it, you go out and buy it. You know, with dreams, it's exactly like that for me. I've been thinking about Everest for 15 years. Imagine.
Wow.
And the fact that there were no other Egyptian women who have done it, honestly, was just a huge motivation for me. I wanted to give my country that title. Why does Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Jordan, Palestine, all these countries have, you know, women who've actually done it? And I was like, okay, Egypt deserves to have like a first Egyptian woman.
And you are that role model. And like you said, you were able to kind of, like, people were saying when it's going to happen and you did it. And it's just amazing. So 15 years, Everest on the brain, but getting there is not easy.
I mean, look, the financial aspect of it is crazy. That was the biggest hurdle. The second hurdle was, how do you get your mind around, you know, you're going to be away from home and family for 2 months. You know, like, you know, when you go to the Maldives for like 5 days, you kind of like think, will I get bored? Like, isn't it like too long? I'm going to be away. And then you come back and you feel so disoriented, right? Like after a short break. Imagine being away for 2 months. So
who are you with, by the way? Like, how does it work?
I was completely by myself. I booked, it was like an American expedition company. And I booked it myself. It was recommended to me by Suzanne Al-Houbi, who was my mentor throughout this entire expedition. She was looking after me, giving me tips, and organized the entire trip for me.
So you were alone, without friends or anything?
Exactly.
Wow.
See, that's the thing, and that's where your courage has to kick through. If you really want it, you're gonna have to get past all these hurdles yourself. So it was a very, very rough environment for me. You know, you're the only Arab hijabi girl during Ramadan. I celebrated Ramadan on my own, Eid on my own, and nobody kind of gets it. You know, it's like, and I'm like, Eid is like Christmas for us, you guys. Like, you know, here are some sweets. So I did I felt like I was trying to, you know, like change people's like mentality and stuff and perceptions about, you know, what we do in the Arab world.
Wow. I mean, climbing the Mount Everest, it's the scariest thing. There are avalanches. It's scary to be up there. And then you said you passed 2 dead bodies as well.
Yeah.
How was that, not experience, just that whole ordeal for you?
Look, I know many people don't think so, because some people choose not to show so much emotions, or they pretend like, oh, you know, we've recovered. It only took us like about a week. I'm still recovering. It's been a month plus. I feel traumatized. Like, you know, you feel like you literally have to walk over dead bodies, and it's not like you see them from afar. No, they're like literally underneath your feet. And then all these thoughts start to like hit your brain. Like, who are these people? They've had similar dreams. What was their story? You know, they shared the exact same dream, except that I actually researched who they are. So one guy summited. He was 55 years old, and he just collapsed from extreme exhaustion because he didn't, like, from a lack of oxygen. I bought extra oxygen, but the problem is it's so expensive up there. So sometimes people are like, oh, we don't need it, or we're going to be fine. I was like, my ego was dead on the mountain. Like, I had zero ego. I was like, you know what, you guys, I'm the slowest, I'm the weakest. Give me everything I need to make this trip successful. I didn't care what people thought of me. I actually shared a video of me crying that went viral all over the world. It's actually my best performing Instagram video in like my entire 7 years on Instagram.
Tears.
Drama, right? But I just wanted to show people the real aspect of the mountain. It's not just like me putting in the hard work and then just like standing on top and holding a flag. It's not about that. You know, it's like an internal struggle with yourself every single day, waking up and feeling unwelcome sometimes from the environment, because I got people who were like, you know, living in like parts in the States where it's only a mountaineering, you know, country or city or state or whatever. And then there's Manal from the desert, and they're like, so you climb? I was like, well, I'm trying, you know, like I want to. So it was very traumatizing. I'm still like healing from that, I feel.
Wow.
And you just gotta. There is no room for panic attacks. There's no room for your anxiety to take over. There's no room. Otherwise, they'll just turn you around.
Is there not? Because like what I've seen in Everest is that it can be busy, and this is what some people don't understand. Is like there's points where you're all climbing together.
Yeah.
So what if you have that moment where you're like, I need a second? Like I think you explained in one of your videos that you actually did have that moment when you saw those bodies.
Yeah. So basically, I panicked at 8,500 meters. It was pure anxiety. Like you get those palpitations. You feel like out of breath, even though I almost had like a full tank of oxygen, but it's all your mind.
Yeah.
And that's where I remember the quote, your anxiety is lying to you. Because sometimes you feel like you are in a dangerous situation or place, but the truth of the matter is that you're just panicking, and that's where I had to decide, I'm going to mess this up. Like if I don't put myself together, I'm gonna lose my expedition. And my guide, God bless him, Anoop, he was like so firm and tough with me. He said, if you continue to act like this, I'm gonna turn you around. Because I was like, oh my God, I can't breathe. Oh my God, my oxygen's running out. He's like, your oxygen is okay. Everything is okay. You're just panicking. So I had to adjust.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I don't want to ruin this. I'm 300 meters away from the summit, but I did panic. And then I kind of had a moment where I just wanted to stare at the dead body, and I'm like, okay, you cannot freeze now, because they're actually at a very, very, very narrow rocky part where you have to hold on to a rope and literally cross over, and you want to make sure that you don't hit them, so that they don't you don't want to hit the dead body. It's so weird. And I got really harsh comments on Instagram. I remember this girl said, and I read everything. People think that we don't, but we actually see everything. She said, your humanity died the moment you decided to step over that dead body to achieve your selfish goal. And I was like, ouch. I was like, first of all, I didn't mean to step over a dead body. Like I actually told my guide, I need a moment. And he said, we don't have time for a moment. There's a line behind you. And I made friends actually with Brazilian friends. I hope they're watching, because we became friends after that. They were just staring at me. They're like, please move. You can't just stop, because everyone is waiting for me. I just have to be like, okay.
But can I just say that what you've described is people have these moments in life, like when it's, whether it's you're nervous for something the next day, you could be something in your relationship, you're having a panic attack. You have just described that, but you have, pressure of your platform. You're 300 meters from the goal of your life that you've been thinking about for 15 years, and you had that and you overcame it. It's so inspiring.
Yeah.
Very true.
So that's why I'm celebrating, my getting over my insecurities and my internal weaknesses, because I didn't know I had that. I didn't know, no one actually describes to you the reality of the moment. Everyone says, fine, it was hard. It wasn't hard. It was harsh. I always choose to say it wasn't hard. It was very, very harsh. But alhamdulillah, God made it easy. And then, easy at the moment to just get past it. I can't believe I did it. When you were saying Manal was the first Egyptian woman to climb Everest, I was like, who is that? I was like, oh my God, that's me. Okay. No, but really, I'm still, it's just very surreal for me,
Yeah. So, you did it, all of that. The one thing that's staying with me is the fact that you saw the bodies and you were thinking about them and who were they and all of that. But did you for a second think of yourself oh my God, I don't want this to be my fate? Did you prepare for the blizzards, for the harsh conditions?
Look, I invested in my gear so well. There's no room to make mistakes with the gear. If they tell you this, you need to buy the original down suit, it's for $1,000. Don't go and buy something cheap, because you want to save extra dollars. So number one, I invested in all my gear. I had literally, the top of everything. Normally, as Arabs, we're gonna be I'm only gonna use it once. I'm just gonna go for the fake cheap brand. But I didn't do that.
Too.
I don't know. So that was number one. Number two, I actually physically felt very strong on summit day. I think it was the oxygen. It was just me dealing with my emotions and internal insecurities. I swear to you, wallahi, even though we reached Camp 4 and it's pretty obvious that you will make it, I still had no hope to make it. I was like, no, I'm not going to let it get to my head, I just kept my ego in check. I was like, because anything can happen. The time when I panicked at 8,500, I could have just turned around, So I had the best gloves. I was very, very worried about frost bites. So I bought extra hand warmers. Like, you know, they have this really cool thing on Everest Base Camp. They have deliveries. But you get deliveries via helicopters.
Oh, wow.
I don't ask about how much they are. So I said, okay, so I need strepsils because they made me breathe better when I'm sucking on something. And I need extra hand warmers. I need those really expensive gloves. And I need pants that just like to replace a pair that I had torn. And then they said, yeah, sure, we'll send them by helicopter. And then the helicopter comes and drops it to you. And then it's like $800. I was like, wait, what? Did I just like order something for $800? So these are the kind of things that keep coming. I don't know, like, oh my God. But you don't think about it. Khalas. You're there, you got to spend the money, you know?
Describe the moment.
Of reaching the top. Look, honestly, you know, people expect me to say, oh my God, I really felt like I was on top of the world. I was so scared. So scared. It's actually tiny. It's actually tiny. And there were a lot of people who were so chill and they were like removing their goggles and like I could not remove anything. Like I was telling your friend here, so the first Omani woman to summit Everest, Nadira, she messaged me before I head out to Summit Push. Like I was getting a lot of support from the mountaineering community, the Arab mountaineer community, you know. And she said, Manal, please don't forget to remove your goggles and your mask for the pictures. I was like, yeah, don't worry, of course. We have 3 phones and 3 cameras. Everything is gonna be like. I could not even do this like just for a second because I was so scared. You can't breathe. Like I could not breathe. Plus, remember you're on an edge. Literally and metaphorically, you know, you're on an edge, and I'm just scared that my anxiety would kick through. There are a lot of people. I just wanted to take my photo with my flag. I actually spoke. I expected to only take photos, but because I couldn't remove, I just wanted people to hear my voice so that they can tell it's me. Because some idiots on social media, they're like, oh, but how can we tell it's actually you? And I'm like, are you guys serious? Like, come on. You know,
you find them.
So I spoke in English and Arabic, and then I did something for my surviving hijab community because I got messages like, you know, you're taking up 1 million hijabi women up there. And I was like, I don't want to take 1 million women up there. It's like more pressure, you know. I don't want to stay for long. Even like there is this center point where there's like a flag and you know, like it's just like a pole and loads of flags. People like to take a picture on it. I couldn't bother. I was like, this will probably look like the top of Everest. Yalla, let's go. I just want to leave. And then because I know you had to cross over the dead bodies again.
Yeah.
You know, on the same part. And I was like, I just want to come down healthy, fit, and I did. Alhamdulillah. 0 frost bites, nothing. I'm 100% healthy. You know. Yeah.
Amazing gear then, but amazing guide also who helped you all the way up there.
I love you. Yeah.
And question for you: is there a monetary thing out of climbing the Everest apart from like, of course, you get the self-satisfactory, but like, do you get any money rewards, anything for that?
I was chatting to Richard. I mean, look, my goal was to achieve this dream. You know. Whether brands will say, okay, we'd love to work for her long term or like recruit me as an ambassador or influencer or whatever, this will come inshallah eventually. I mean, I hope, but that was not the goal of me summiting, of course, because if that's your goal, you will be smashed. Because like when you're faced with all this hardship, nothing really matters. Like you really need to be very honest with why you're doing something that is so harsh like that. You know, so no, you don't get any monetary support. I actually paid for my dad helped me pay for it. Like I said, I'm just hoping that the story. Yeah, shout out to my dad.
I mean, after so many years of not being completely against it and then supporting you.
I think, you know, when you stay so consistent and persistent, you know, about wanting to do one thing, they really believe that you're not just like not serious about this. You know, and especially that there were so many girls from the Arab world who were doing it, and it really broke my heart when I kept missing expedition after the other, and I kept like feeling like, oh my God, I'm missing out on life. And if another Egyptian woman had done it, I would have never forgiven myself. I know that sounds bad, but like I feel like I earned it as someone who's been climbing for the past 10 years, who's like, you know, overcome so many hurdles. I really wanted to be the one to give that to my country, you know? And if another woman had done it, well, great, but I would have felt like, oh my God, see, like I slacked for so long, you know?
But not even do it for your country, but you did it for your community, because let's talk a little bit about Surviving Hijab. It's the Facebook group that you started. It is now a support group for, or support, would you call it support group?
I mean, we support women who
It's a
choose
women
to,
community.
wear the hijab, to show their faith that way. But I mean, everyone is welcome. You don't have to be Muslim. You don't have to be covered. You just have to support another woman's choice of exercising her faith this way. Whether it is like to wear a burkini on the beach or a bikini, we support everybody.
And it's 1 million strong.
Yeah.
Which is
And
so
on Facebook.
so like imagine how powerful that is, because we all live in certain countries, but we don't choose that. People choose to be part of your Facebook group that's women supporting women. And you did the goal that you said that you would do, and you had all those people following. How does that feel? Do you feel elated?
I mean, look, I've taken the Survive Hijab flag up to many mountaintops, and I always say never not taking my community to greater heights. But then when I raised the Survive Hijab flag on top of Everest, I said, I took the flag up to the greatest height. Because, nobody can ever take this away from us or from me as a personal goal. And a goal that I wanted to set for the little girls, that it doesn't matter, if you choose to wear the hijab, doesn't mean that you can't be an athlete. No, you can wear the hijab, you can be an athlete, you can stand on top of the world. And I really wanted to set that example specifically, for the little girls, because I see the struggles they go through. Like, I have a 16-year-old niece, who's covered, and then like a bunch of her friends are also covered. I struggled with my hijab, growing up, because there were no role models. Like, we had nobody to look up to. I say it with a lot of pride, but my role model was Madonna. But I always thought that in order for me to become so good at what I do, I need to look a certain way. But that's not necessarily true. Whether you choose to hold on to your values or not, you can still make it in a very, very, very harsh world as well. So yeah, we took Survivor Hijab's flag to the greatest height. Yeah.
So well said. We're getting goosebumps.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Sorry, you're wearing a lot of crystals. So are you superstitious by any chance?
I'm not, but they just kind of make me feel safe. I try to buy ones from every country that I go to, and then they just keep adding up. I don't have space to wear my watch anymore, but I just it's become my thing, and I like it when a lot of people are also, you have one there.
Get the memo.
But you're not superstitious at all.
Not really, no. I mean, but I believe in signs, you know what I mean? Just how I was seeing Everest everywhere, including this random jacket at Bershka that had it didn't say Everest, by the way. It just said feel alive.
That's crazy.
No, but I saw it. I saw the coordinates. I was like, no, Bershka will not do that. I'm sorry if I'm mentioning the brand, but it said feel alive, climb to the top. And then when I went into the dressing room, I actually looked it up. I was like, I'm not looking at the price, I'm just buying it,
You've had it for all those years?
2019. So 2019, I had missed out on, it's an old it's an old jacket, 2019, I had missed out on an expedition where a bunch of Arab girls were going. And honestly, that time of my life, even though a lot of things were happening, remember the Dream Crazier campaign that came out, you guys also covered it. And we were doing so much work with the Survive Hijab community with Facebook. I was flying to San Francisco, we met with Richard there, but the fact that I missed out on the expedition, it was really breaking my heart. And I kept it in secret because I didn't want people to judge me. It's because people would be like, oh, she's so jealous. I wasn't jealous. I just felt like I was missing out on the biggest dream of my life. For what? I didn't have the money. I didn't have the courage. I'll be very honest with you. I didn't have the courage. Maybe my willpower wasn't as strong, but then the pandemic kind of shifts things for you,
Yeah.
That's why I inshallah. So I believe in signs.
So do I actually. Dare we ask, Manal, what is next?
Okay, that's people were asking this to me after 2 days after I came back from Everest.
I don't even, to be honest, I don't even,
of course
there needs
you
to be no
can,
answer, but I want to know
learn how to use a washing machine.
What's going on with you?
I want to learn how to cook actually. Maybe find a husband, get married, have kids, hopefully.
But get back into a normal life, right? Because you've just been this has been taking over for so long that you're just adjusting, I guess.
Look, I'm really still in recovery mode. I really don't care how long it took certain people to recover from Everest. I'm just saying it out loud. I'm still recovering, healing, getting over what happened, what I saw, how I felt. I watched these videos and I was like, oh my God, I can't. I watch my own videos after I post them on Instagram. I watch them probably all these views are me. I'm just watching and watching, and then it's just I keep playing it. I can't believe it. And that's kind of for me trying to have it inside my head.
I just want to chill. I want to get back to normality. I want to get back to routine, which I'm really struggling with, by the way. That's why it took me some time to come to the studio. Like, I wanted to come when I'm like, I still feel like I'm at sea level because I've been feeling like I was up there for so long, you know? Yeah. Like every day, almost every day, and people who watch my stories will know on Instagram, like I've been going to the beach, just like I never used to be like this, just sitting doing nothing and watching, you know, the waves and listening to the sound of the ocean. And just I ride breathing oxygen, like having paid like $9,000 for extra oxygen. I really, a little bit less than that, but like, you know, I really feel like we take a lot of things for granted. That I really appreciate the fact that we breathe free oxygen. Can you believe it? These are things on my mind. So what's next? I want to get back to normal life. I want to start to work again because at the moment, like I've been out of the country for like 3 months. I don't have campaigns. I'm not working on anything. Even training people and coaching is like kind of like a bit like rough for me to get back to dealing one-on-one. So I want to get back to work. Next year, I'll start planning my the rest of my 7 summits. So this I know that I want to do. Like I want to finish the remaining highest mountain on every continent. Currently, I've only done 3. So I've done the highest mountain in Europe, Africa, and Asia. I'd love to finish all 7. But we need, I'm just saying it out loud, I need support. Like, I cannot continue to pay for this. Everest was literally finished like a big chunk of my savings, you know? So inshallah, all fingers crossed, someone's like, oh, you know, let's support the first Egyptian woman, inshallah.
Sponsors, women on a mission with a passion.
Collaborations, you know? It's a partnership at the end of the day. Like, what's in it for them and what's in it for me? For me, it's to achieve my lifelong dream. A lot of people are saying, you know what, you should just retire with Everest because you don't know. Because there's always a chance of trying a mountain and then, you know, not like standing on top. But then I also want to finish all the 7 summits because it's a challenge, you know, it's a goal. You know, like Everest alone wasn't just a goal, but I chose Everest because I just wanted to be the first.
When you put it out there, I have no doubt that you're going to make it happen because that is you. You're a woman on a mission. You make it happen. We appreciate so much you coming in to talk to us. It's an amazing story. It gives us all inspiration for even little things in life that we want to achieve.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Yeah, thank you so much.
Guys, that is it for us on the Lovin Dubai show. We're back with you every single weekday morning, same time, same place. And massive thank to the first ever Egyptian lady to climb Everest, Manal Rostom. That is it. Bye.